as you mentioned, like what are you naturally like, good at? What is your talent basically, right? For example, like I'll give you an example. For the longest time, I thought it's mathematics, right? Since I was 14, I saw this book in a bookshelf somewhere, right? About like high school mathematics. And I just, I got it, right? And then I spent like my entire summer holidays reading through it. And within like 3 months, I finished like basically 2 years of school content, right? Then I went on to, whatever, I did math Olympiads and stuff, and I studied and this and that. But during the PhD, I figured out, okay, like looking back, right? Back then I could not see it. I don't think I actually have like a talent for mathematics. It's more like hard work, right? I put a lot of hard work into it.
What do you love about maths, like specific? Because I was listening to Robert Greene today, Of course, everyone has certain things that we can take on. So I was also looking for the same answers. And that's when I told you, bro, I have always been the person who kind of like sits in one corner and then I'm observing everyone. Like that was me from like when I was 10 years old.
Yeah.
Right? I like to observe. I'm like, okay, looking at that person, why are they doing this? Hand movements, how they lie, everything. But I can read. When I was 18, 20, 21, okay, you know what? I kind of see through it. So I thought that's a hobby. And then I used to write poetry. So that's words, communication. I used to write essays for like, long. I just keep writing, like words will keep flowing. These things are more like, we don't count that as monetizable skills. Back then it was not that. But right now, if you can look back, you can see, okay, observing people, intuition, and then reading personalities, finding flaws, or, reading through them, and then communicating. These are two things, if you can look back you can zoom out, basically, right? And then for you personally, if you look at maths, then how do you see, like, do you have any idea about why did I like maths? What aspect of it?
Well, I love
about it.
Yeah. So the first thing that comes to mind is basically, I was always like, going when, let's say we had a trip like with the family, I always took my pen and pencil with me, right? And I always had like a couple of problems that I had in my mind that I was working on. And basically you have this infinite world, literally infinite world, where you don't need any other tool in principle. Like you just need a pen, paper, that's it. Of course, if you have books as well, if you have ChatGPT, whatever, then that is helpful and it makes it easier. But it's in principle, it's not needed, right? So you can just be at any place, anywhere.
I mean, that was your versatile project,
I guess.
It sounds like that. You can be anything, anywhere. Like you can get into depths of numbers. That was the world that you kind of found.
Yeah, but the thing is, I'm not sure if it came from like a good place, because I basically, like, I got bullied a lot in school, right? So I basically it was like escaping into a world where I don't need anything else, right?
But I don't think that's a negative thing.
I mean, if it comes from is a place of avoiding something, then I don't think it's positive.
I mean, it depends. Like when you came out of 10, 11 years into it.
Yeah.
At the end, did it feel fulfilling for you? Okay, I'm glad that I took this step, or I was pushed into it, or is it like, okay, you know what, I wasted a lot of time?
It's hard to say, right? Like, what is wasted time?
I mean, if you really think about it, though.
No, for real. I mean, what is wasted time? Like, it's all experience, right? Like,
no. It's not about like the definition of wasted time. I'm talking about you as a person. How did it feel? For example, me. If I look back on my college days, I get traumatized because I was sitting. It was one of the worst colleges in India. I'll not take the name, but it was literally me sitting 8 hours in a bench. I was not allowed to go outside. There was no proper infrastructure. It's just sunny, like, very bright sun all day long, hot temperature. I'm sitting there. No one is studying anything. No one is teaching me anything with 60 more students. My investment of time and money into this for 4 years, I look back on it. I'm like, you know what? Okay, I was pushed into this, yes, because I did not have any other option. But I kind of feel negative towards it. So it's not a positive thing that happened. But if I look back on the last 6 years, which also was not a positive yield for me, because I was trying to become like monetarily successful by the age of 21, right? Financial, making good amount. I'm not even close to that. But the amount of fulfillment that I got from this journey out of it, sitting right now, I look back and the last 6 years is like heaven for me. I'm super glad. It was also from a point of insecurity. I was pushed into it, kind of.
So you regret like the past?
The university, yeah. The studies, I don't like the syllabus study, like in confined studies. It was my, killing curiosity, like, step by step for a long period of time. I literally, when I was 18 years old, that's the only time I got to think, why am I doing this? Why have we been into this?
It's a very deep question, right? If I regret it or not, because it feels like a different person. That's what I can say. Because that's this process of like getting rid of it, so to speak, and deciding like, okay, I'm not gonna continue on that path, right? A couple of months, I literally had like a burnout, kind of, right, where I could not. I took literally 3 months off university or something, and it was like a 1.5 year process of like, okay, when I felt it the first time, like either like I don't have I don't have the talent, and it's like, okay, if at this point I really want to go in this path, I need to work harder, right? I need to invest more hours into it. I need to make sure that I can focus better. But then at the same time, I had this personal transformation where I started, to go out and talk to girls, find out like more about communication, psychology, how do people think, away from me, right? I was always like focused on myself. And then I was like discovering, okay, there's a lot to be learned in understanding other people, right? And that also gave me like more understanding of myself, right? Which was a big motivator for myself. And I saw that, okay, if I do this, then it's like it takes away focus for me to really go into the math, right? So I saw, okay, this focus is I don't have it, and I don't seem talented enough to still pull it off. So I mean, if I'm really honest with myself, accepting that and basically moving on, that took like 1.5 years for me.
So it's more or less like it's not even negative, it's not even positive, it's just a phase that you don't even consider much of a
Kinda
impact. It's just a phase, no strong, high intense emotions attached to it.
Yeah, I would say so.